In other words, morphological awareness is an understanding that prefixes and suffixes can be added or taken away to change the meaning of a word. So when we're practicing with morphology, we're looking at the meaning of words or the semantics. We are still honing into the sounds that these morphemes are making, which is the phonology, and then the orthography, which are the spelling rules. That's a lot of what we teach in structured literacy. But when we're focusing on morphemes, we're actually focusing on the meaningful units of words. So, right, elation, those are our syllables, but those don't contain meaning on their own. But notice here, when we break them up into morphemes, those do have meaning on their own. The 4 steps of SWI. Step 1, what is the meaning of the word? Step 2, how is the word built? Step 3, what relatives does it have? And step 4 is the pronunciation expected. So we're going to be exploring this word together, Hopeful. So step 1 is, what is the meaning? So students begin by asking, what does this word mean? And they might brainstorm different ways to define it and interpret it. And if they're not sure, another great place to look is by researching the etymology or the history of this word. The word meant, it had some sort of came from Old English and came out of theology and religious practices. Say, can you use this word in a sentence? Can you describe what it means? And can you draw a picture? Next, we delve into step 2. How is the word built? This is where students look at the composition of the word. They identify its base and any affixes it might have. And they start thinking about, what does this word mean? How is it composed? Then we move on to step 3. What word relatives does it have? Through morphology, we can take one word and then explore a wealth of other words that are all related. And so we use things like word webs and word matrices to help students kind of look and see words that can share the same base. So I did this with my students last year. Word sorts like this, really, really simple and easy. I just literally took a piece of string for each group, had the word family in bold and big print, hope, Hope, and then I cut out other words for them to sort, either within the word family or within outside of the word family. And once students have sorted the words that do belong in the word family, they can start doing some other activities. And one is called a word sum. So this is Hope plus LESS is rewritten as HOPELESS. Then the last step is step 4, and we ask and really get to that thing that has clearly been coming up over and over again, is the pronunciation expected. And consider how the pronunciation can affect the spelling. This is a really great tool to give students some independence and autonomy when you're teaching them a new suffixing rule, that they have a resource that they can refer back to and practice. I do want to just go over a couple more components or things to note about these different tools of SWI. We also have a word matrix, and it's a visual representation of a morphological word family. It brings together words that share the same base element and the orthographic denotation. An orthographic denotation is the general sense or kind of deep nugget of meaning carried by a base element. So how to make a word matrix. Base goes in the middle here and it's in bold. And right below it is the orthographic denotation or the etymological meaning of that word. Prefixes are added in the column to the left of the base, and suffixes are added in the column to the right of the base. Multiple prefixes and multiple suffixes that work together to form a word are written side by side and separated by a line. So we see hopefully. And how can you use these SWI tools in your classroom to promote vocabulary and comprehension? We do have a morphology part 2 coming up. So the next one is going to be Thursday, March 27th from 4:30 to 6 p.m. So some of the topics are, what is morphology, important vocabulary of SWI. So we'll do a quick review of what we did today. We'll talk a lot more about the vocabulary. We'll take a deep dive into the 3 suffixing rules using morphology, and we'll get a lot more practice of being able to write out word sums and spell them out loud. And then I'll provide you with many resources related to morphology and SWI. QR code for you there that will take you directly to the CTI website so you can sign up for the next one.